is, you know, this idea of, is this solid? Sounds solid. Looks solid. We punctuate reality this way. It looks solid. But in fact, any good 6th grade physics, you know, science teacher will tell you, no, it is not. It only appears solid. This is, in fact, energy bound up in fields, and that's what makes it appear solid. And there begins the slippery slope. If this is energy, what's this? Everything's energy. And hey, what's a thought? What's a feeling? What's that made of? I don't know. Energy, right? So, and then when I first learned Callahan called thought field therapy, that was pretty much the first energy psychology out there. The name comes from the idea, thought field, that your thoughts are like, so if you have a thought, let's say the word, you know, or you think about an event, and it's like a thought ball. I mean, the way I visualize in my mind is this little sphere of energy. That's a thought ball. And if you're calm and relaxed, and it's a nice round sphere. But if the energy is disturbed, it's misshapen in some way, this is more just a visualization, if you will, that's called a perturbation. The energy is disrupted or disturbed. What we experience is you know, Gary Craig calls it the zit, the buzz, anxiety, trauma, something negative. I mean, why do you feel happy versus sad? I mean, there's really not a very good brain explanation. Well, they'll try and they'll sound very, very intelligent, but we really have no clue about how do we do that. So that is the beginning of this, how you punctuate reality. And once you start going down that avenue, that thoughts might be fields, everything's an energetic field, all bets tend to get, you know, be off, and you go into what I like to call the woo. And the only question is, how deep into the woo are you going to go? And it's like, you know, and then the woo, you know, oh, you go a little bit into the woo when you get, this isn't too bad, but over there, whoa, that's really way too wooey for me. And then a few years later, you know, it's like, oh, this isn't so weird. And off we go. How weird does it go? You ask? I'll tell you how weird it goes. So they've done studies or experiments with these Qigong masters in China. And this one particular one really blew my mind. They've done a number of these hardcore experiments. And what this particular one really kind of got me, you know, if you have a radioactive substance, it decays. It has a half-life, right? And it doesn't change. So they took one of these substances, americanium, whatever it is, and they had this Qigong master at distance, I mean, he was various miles away, send Qigong energy to it, and he could raise and lower at will the decay rate of an element, like as much as 10%. That's not possible, except it happens. Whoa. So you really get into, I mean, and you get all these things. Now here's the funny thing about, so here's this outrageous exception. If you're any math teacher, probably not, but if you have a math theorem, and some mathematics, the purest of the pure of science, and if you break the theorem, if you prove that the theorem in one example is wrong, what happens to that theorem? Bye-bye. But in this kind of world, in medicine or whatever, if there's something that happens that completely breaks, you know, goes against everything in the theory, what happens? We call it an anomaly. We just can't deal with it.